Hey guys, so today I'm going to be trying to build two canister filters out of buckets, and where I got this idea was the King of DIY and also a little bit from AQUAPROS, those two channels. But basically I'm going to be following their directions in a way to create this. So this isn't an original idea, but it is something that is like cheaper than normal canister filters of this size. So I'm going to be trying to produce them. I say that because I have one of the components of what I'm trying here. I'm not sure if it'll work, so we're going to jump right into it. I will be explaining more about the actual things I'll be using once I'm done, because again, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and build them, and then I will talk about each component. To start off, I first went and got all the supplies I needed from Lowe's, and once I had gotten those, then I was here and I had everything together, but I need to figure out exactly what everything went with stuff. So I organized it for each bucket here, and then I would start building. So that's why I'm just like walking around my room, and I have extra supplies just that I got that are also like a lot of extra PVC that's also the same size. So I need to figure out which pieces of those I would actually be using for this project, so then I wouldn't have to use the stuff that we bought. So once I'd figured all that out, I started to make the intake and the outtake. I'm not exactly sure exactly what these are called, but it'll be the two things that'll sit on the side of the tank, because one of these is planned to go on a tank. The other one's supposed to go in a pond. We'll see how it works. I don't know, but for right now, this is how I'm doing it. And the one that's going on the tank needs something to sit on the sides to take in water and to push water back out. So I went ahead and built those, and then I started on the parts that go out of the two buckets. But there has to be the same type of thing, a part for water to go in and a part for water to go out. But I wasn't exactly sure. I had bought rubber grommets rather than uniseals, which are what was said to what I was supposed to get, and because we couldn't find uniseals at Lowe's or Menards, so they didn't work. So that's why I only drilled one holes to see if they would work. So there's me researching. I ended up ordering some uniseals on Amazon, and then I took this basically spray on rubber stuff and sprayed everything, because it's supposed to be safe for aquariums because it's like spray on rubber. So it's pretty neat. I ran out though, so I went ahead. I had to spray the buckets down, because I didn't want them. One of these is going to be in my room, and I don't want it to just be like orange and white. It doesn't look very good, and I figured I didn't want white PVC on the side of my tank, so I figured I'd spray everything down, and I ran out. So then I had to later on, when we got another can, I went ahead and sprayed more. The one thing about this is it kind of peels though, like not like normal paint, but like if you caught it, then it might peel. So like part of it peeled off of one of the sides of the bucket, and it wasn't great. And like I don't know, I won't be moving this stuff around a lot, but it wouldn't be a good idea to. I just realized that I forgot to film this process of putting these parts on, but it's very simple. You just take a drill bit that's 3/4 inch, and then you drill the hole. You put in one of these uni seals. I got mine on Amazon. I got 4 of them for, I want to say, between like $12 and $10 or something like that. Or actually I got 5 of them for some reason, I don't know. But I put those 2 in, and you just drill the holes, you put these in, and then those slide right in. It's very easy to install. It was a little bit difficult with the ones down there, because it's not super, like, this isn't super supported plastic, so it was a little bit unnerving to like push those in really far. But I think that it's worked really well, and I'm pretty positive it'll hold water. So because these are rubber and they bend, so that's pretty exciting. I now have pretty much everything set up and ready to go. It's just that I don't have like a actual filter to test it on, or a pump. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it into I'm going to connect it to the pump. I'm going to connect one of these into the full system that is this. So right now I have the pump that takes in water directly, and then it pumps the water up into that, and then it goes through all that filtration, and then it fills back up, and then goes through there, and then there's plants in there. But what I'm thinking needs to happen, or what I should do, is set one of these up with those two things, and then connect the filter, so then the intake is connected to that, like how this should be. But then instead of just pumping it back into the tank through this, it would instead go through that whole system again. So what it would do is we'd take the filter, and it would no longer be taking the water directly from the tank, but it would be taking the water through this thing, which would then go through all of this, and then it would be pumped through the rest of the filtration, just so I can test this out and see how it works. But that might cause some problems because of, like, there's not a whole lot of drop there, like enough gravity, so hopefully I won't burn up the filter. But that is my plan right now. And yeah, but I don't have another pump to test these out on inside, so that is why that's the plan. So that is currently the plan, but honestly, I'm not sold on that idea, and the reason that is because to set this canister filter right beside the stock tank, it wouldn't flow very well. The water wouldn't flow very well out into the top of it, and I think it might burn up the pump to have to pull the water as fast as that pump goes, to pull the water down and then push it back up. So that is why I haven't done that yet. But here is the finished product here, and it's gonna work just like any other canister filter. So here's the Fluval FX5, for example. So the Fluval FX5, it takes the water in through this thing, and then it pumps it through here. It goes down. Honestly, I'm not sure how it works in there, but I'm pretty sure it like drips down, and then this sucks it up from the bottom, and then it comes out those. So very similar system here. So we have this, and we have that corner piece there. It goes into 3/4 inch PVC, goes through these two corner pieces, and then it goes to an adapter. Then there'll be this vinyl tubing, and this was like about $22. It was actually pretty expensive, and I believe this is 3/4 inch, so it would slide right on there, and then it would go down to this adapter, and then it would go through. You put all your filtration inside, and there's actually a little structure you need to build inside. You take like 3 or 4 pieces of 3/4 inch PVC, and you put them down inside, and then you put them down inside, and then you put egg crate light diffuser, which is that stuff right there, and then you can put your media on top of that, and that keeps the media from touching this. It just fills up the bottom with the water. So it goes into this adapter, then through 3/4 inch PVC, and then into the uni seal, and then into the gamma seal lid. Now those two are very important. The uni seal makes it very easy to create a seal with this PVC and the bucket. And then the gamma seal lid is very important, so then you can unscrew it. So if you just use a normal lid, it would be a lot harder to access the filter and clean whatever mechanical filtration, or, you know, spray out the filter or anything like that. So that's why the gamma seal lid is very important. I believe I got like the uni seals for, I got the 4 of them for like $10, so just 2 of them for this project wouldn't cost very much. And then the gamma seal lid were about $15, $14, I believe. And then it goes through your filtration inside, and then it gets down to here, and then there's the pump sitting right here, and then the pump pulls the water out of the canister, and then it pumps it back up into, actually pumps it into here. I was wrong a little bit earlier. So it sucks up the water through these holes in the PVC, and then it goes through there. Sorry, I got that messed up, but basically you want the smaller holes here, and then you want a cap on the end, and you don't want to glue on the cap because you want to be able to access that to clean out that tube inside. But you want these holes to be small so then you don't suck up fish. But the filter, or the pump, would pump water into here and then spray it out, just like this canister filter does. So same system, just a heck of a lot cheaper. The issue that I'm having right now with these filters, like they work well and everything's going to work great with them, but I haven't set them up. And the reason I haven't set them up is because I don't have a lot of tanks that are that far off the ground. So as you can see, I have a 75 gallon here that's on the ground. And I know that just like this filter, I tried to have this filter on here, but the problem with that is the siphon, the intake works on basically gravity. So the water just kind of like is siphoned out and then pumped back up. It's not pumped out. And that's the problem here, is that I don't have, it's not coming out fast enough for the filter, and that's why I'm worried to set it up on the stock tank outside, because that's also on the ground. And if I set this right beside it, it might burn up the filter from trying to pull the water through all this filtration and then push it back up as well. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do there, but it's not as much a problem with this tank because I only plan on having one turtle in here. Right now I have 3, but 2 of those turtles are going to be moving into another 125 gallon aquarium that'll be on the ground right here, and I had to put it on the ground because of this thing. This is in the corner of my room, but what I would like to do is put the tank like all the way up here, so that I'd have lots of space to build stuff down here, and I could just, you know, have a stand here, and then the filter would work really well and everything would be great, except this isn't 6 foot of space for the tank. So the only way I could put it here and utilize space efficiently is to have the tank on the ground. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. The other one of these I plan to use for like another outside pond, but again, I'm starting to think the same thing. I don't think the water would come into the filter as fast as the pump would be able to pump it out. So I don't know how well that would work. But for a simple tank, basically what most people have, they don't have this space issue of having lots of large tanks on the ground. Just like this filter would work, this filter would work the same. So, and then the outside was sprayed with a plastic dip black spray paint. So that's fish safe, I believe. It's basically like spray on rubber, if you want to think about it that way. So I don't know if that's well, it says it's spray plastic, but that's what it feels like, that's what it acts like, and I think that's pretty cool. Okay, if you guys have been paying attention in this video, you might have noticed the problem with my problem here, which I didn't realize until while I was watching this video, is that this filter works the same either way. So you could have it below the tank and have it as a canister filter, or you could just have it above the tank and it would take the same things to run it. So that's the difference of a normal canister filter and this. This canister filter right here has to be under the tank for it to work. But this you get to do, it's DIY, you get to do whatever you want with it. So you could have the pump coming out of there, or you could set the tank up like this. Okay, so say you had room to somehow manage to put it like that, okay? And let's put it up here, for example. So you have it like this, and then all you need to do is you have a pump sitting inside. It pumps up water up to here, and then the water goes through, and then it just drains right out. Easy, same thing. You just have one pump, and probably the same amount of this stuff. And that's actually the same system that I have out on the pond. And I was gonna go show you it, but my goats are the most annoying creatures that have ever made noise in existence, okay? So I couldn't show you it because they're making too much noise. But in my pond, I have a big filter, or a big pump sitting inside. It pumps it up to a trash can because I just use whatever materials. And because I had a trash can, and then it pumps it into it, and then it drains out into the pond, and it goes through a bunch of mechanical filtration and biological filtration. So then it goes back into the pond, and that's the same system. So that's what I'll do. That solves all my issues. I don't know why I hadn't thought about that. The one thing I don't like about that is because in the normal canister filter way, it doesn't block any type of flow here. So say you wanted to like accidentally, like the filter was gonna accidentally suck up some hornwort. Now in the way that the filter's above the tank, it has to go through the pump first. So then it's gonna get tangled in the pump instead of getting tangled in the filtration, if that makes sense. So, or even this thing. So it's not like this would have been able to take in that stuff, hornwort anyway. So that solves my problem. This is quite a good filter now. I don't really have any issues with it, but the only issue I have now is that it's kind of tall, and I have no idea how I'm gonna fit it to go under the other tank. But we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, I'm sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like down below. If you have any comments below, and if you want content, then subscribe. Have a fantastic day.